Thank you for joining us again on this episode of You the Mom, Mommy Mundo's official podcast in cooperation with Podcast Network Asia. I'm Janice of Mommy Mundo, and this month's theme is all about pregnancy. Today, our guest is a story bringer who loves to write and guides others to own their stories as a path to healing. She is an advocate of gratitude and the power of vulnerability. She is also a certified strength strategist, a certified racing frequencies teacher, a directive counseling practitioner, and a Heartworks healing coach. Let's all welcome Leah Eriguel. Hello,
Hi,
Leah. How are
hi,
you?
mommies. I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be here.
Thank you for being with me again this week. We're
Of
missing
course.
our two sisters, Kit
Yes,
and Kate.
we will have
Um,
fun on their behalf.
yes, we will. We have a roster of songs to sing
For
together.
them, yes.
Yeah. But that is not for public consumption, just for us.
Okay. We will create a behind the scenes.
Yes. But that's also because we have a lot to talk about in this episode. We're
Right.
going to talk about the transition of a woman from woman to mom. So, um, as you know, being a mom is one of the biggest roles that we have in our lives as a woman. And there's a transition from, I guess, usually a bride and then get pregnant. And then that's 9 months of infanticipating. And then you go into your big role as a new mom and raising a child, which goes on forever and ever. And I think this is a really great topic to discuss because oftentimes we celebrate the pregnancy, like the pregnancy tests and all, and then sometimes we also, of course, relish that whole experience of having a life growing inside of us. But there's so much more that we can do to prepare for the role of being a mom, right,
Right.
Leah?
Yes, yes. And especially in these times, it's really important to see your pregnancy as a source of joy
That's
and
right.
an opportunity to get to know yourself so much better
That's
in
true.
preparation for being a mindful mom.
Right. Yeah, I love that. So that's our goal, to be a mindful mom. And I think with all the transitions that go on physically, like your growing waistline and the hormones, your cravings, the changes in sleep patterns and all that, there's also a lot going on mentally and spiritually, emotionally, which is why I think I'm so thankful that you're here with us today because one of your passions and advocacies is promoting self-care and self-love, especially
Yes.
among moms and women.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So,
Janice, yes. Self-care really, I mean, especially for us women because we're nurturers.
yeah,
So, there may be some expectations that we feel we need to live up to in terms of always being the giver, the giver, the giver.
yeah,
However, we can't give from an empty cup. So it's really, really important that as early as now, uh, before you give birth to a new life, you need to know how to give life to yourself. You need to know
right.
how to prioritize your self care, physical, emotional, spiritual, personal self
Yeah,
care, because you want to get to know yourself better. You want to make baon, a lot of positivity, so that
yeah.
also, diba, they say that your baby actually feels all of that na.
That's true.
So,
Oh, I believe that
right?
too. And
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
hear the baby can hear your tone of voice. And
yeah.
actually your hormones change I believe that like the whole, like this quality of whatever's inside the water, quality of the acidity in your tummy, all
Yes,
of that, right? So
yes,
it's
all of that.
absorbed.
Because the truth is, and it's not juju, Albert Einstein said, everything is energy. Everything
Mm-mm.
is energy.
Ah,
So
definitely.
when you're mindful to raise your energies during the time of your pregnancy, Imagine what a happy experience that will be for you, and because it is that for you, then it will be for the baby inside your tummy, diba? And also I want to add na life naman isn't all about 100%
Yeah.
of the time. Part of self-care also is learning to be self-compassionate. That when you have days when it doesn't feel okay, or when there's a feeling of meh, which they now have
Yeah.
they now call languishing because of all that we're going through.
Yes.
Part of self-care is also to accept that it's okay, that we have
True.
meh days and we have happy days. We are not required. There is no should on dapat you're just always 100% happy,
Yeah.
otherwise that's not a good thing. No, the shadow and the light
Yeah.
is what adds texture to our lives. So
That's true. And the shoulds are what we have to watch out for, right? The
yes,
be careful
yes,
what we say about I should have done this, I should be like this. So the
yeah,
shoulds, use it sparingly as much as you can.
yes,
And
yes,
I also want to say that this is super apt with our Mind Your Mind campaign of Mommy Mundo. It's part of that, like taking a pause before we get embroiled in the feelings and emotions that we go through. Take a pause and really check like why you're feeling that way, what's triggering you, why it's triggering you before you
right,
say anything or before you act on it, right? Or
yes,
even
yes,
owning that emotion of being sad, just take a pause and try to breathe through the emotions. And I think this is really important because once you become a mom, you'll never go back to how it used to be. So this is really the 9 weeks, the 9 months is the opportune time to prepare yourself and enjoy and get to know yourself as you grow physically, your tummy, and also
physically
as a
and
woman.
also yes,
Yeah,
it's so important to use this time to make better
yeah,
friends with yourself, right? Get
yeah,
to know
right.
yourself better. um, because when you get to know yourself better, when you learn to become friends with yourself, when you are able to enjoy the silences, and
Yeah,
you lessen the need to fill your life with externals, uh,
right.
I believe you'll be a more relaxed mom. And I really want to say that a more relaxed mom is so much more important than the mom who strives at perfection.
Agree. Progress, not
Because,
perfection. Yeah,
yes, because there's no such thing as perfection.
correct.
And
That's true.
when you live that way, then you teach your child to be anxious.
Yes. And actually Teacher Jeannie taught us that also when we talked about Mind Your Mind, that our brains, diba, it there are parts of the brain that get triggered by stress, and it triggers your fight and flight, your nervous
Mm,
system. And when our calm voice gives way to the nervous voice and stressed voice, our children also imbibe that. And
right,
then their nervous systems are also affected in terms of development. So it's like a
right.
vicious cycle. So we have so much to learn about learn from you, Leah, about how to get to know ourselves more. And I love that, be our friend, because sometimes we are more mean to ourselves than our friend,
Yes,
how we treat our
yes, yes,
friends, right? The way we
yes.
talk to ourselves and punish ourselves when we make mistakes, or when we feel that we're not preparing for our baby as much, right? Like for example, you're not done with the nursery. I know all those stresses of preparing for motherhood.
Relax
Yeah.
and enjoy it. Yeah.
Yes. So our first
Yes.
question is, can we talk about the many changes that a mom, an expecting mom, goes through, both happy and hard. So
Okay.
I guess we have to also backtrack to when we were
Mm,
expecting moms many years
yeah.
ago.
Many, many. Well,
Yeah.
okay. The one thing I want to say about that is really enjoy your pregnancy. It's funny because I realized now that I enjoyed my
Yeah.
pregnancy, but Only I realized when I decided to let go. In the beginning, I had this like 100 pounds body, and then suddenly I saw my body changing, my nose getting bigger,
Yeah.
my
How many
feet.
pounds did you gain when you were
Uh,
pregnant?
with my first child, I was 120, 25 maybe from
Oh, that's
100.
good. The doctor will say very good. No?
Mm. Yes, but she was only 5 pounds, so the 20 pounds was all me.
That's still good kasi 30 yung ano eh. The 30 is the max. 30 is
Uh,
ideal.
third.
Well,
Oh,
well,
okay.
although you were just 100, so I'm not
I
sure if
was
it's
100. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, but
Wow,
yeah,
100. Gosh.
but yes, but for the second child, I was 145, like
Already.
60 kilograms.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I started out with, oh, my nose is not. And then after a while,
Yes.
I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna enjoy this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kasi ba the superstition that when you have a girl, you're super beautiful, then when you're having a boy, you're pangit. And then also when people say, like my dad would say, I think you're gonna have a son. They'll say, pangit ka rin, daddy. Kasi parang, oh,
Thanks,
thanks,
But
dada.
parang, parang that's yeah, that's true for me because like with my first child, with my daughter, parang as 8 months, people didn't even know. Like some people didn't even know that I was pregnant.
Yeah.
But talaga with my son, I felt like,
Yeah.
wow,
I think it has
walking
something to
baby.
do with the hormones, no? Kasi you're growing a child with male hormones, I think. I don't know if that's
Hindi.
true. But so what are the joyous memories of pregnancy? Diba it's like everyone's doting on you and then your
Yeah.
husband's like asking you what you're craving for and then he's gonna rush out and buy. Like my husband would
And then when
go
he
out.
comes back with it, ayaw mo na.
Oo nga. 'Di ba you're like,
Huh?
my friend, she was craving for puto. And then the husband just talagang looked everywhere for it. And then she wanted a specific one. Like, saan ba yung puto na where it's made? Is it malab? No, no, that's malabon. But
Basta
anyway, this is,
there's the one that's
it's a,
the rice cake type
yeah, yung
eh.
talagang
Yes,
known for
yes,
puto.
yes, yeah.
Tapos when it arrived, when nakuha ng husband, she just pinched it. She's like, ay, and
Kaya pala.
that's it. She didn't even eat it.
And
So
those cravings are real, di ba?
yeah, it is
Talagang-
real. So
Yeah.
so that's one. And then of course I loved going to my monthly checkups when the doctor measures your girth and then you hear the heartbeat. So those were fun. Those were fun for me.
For me, the moments that I love the most was the realization that I was capable of that there was a living, breathing life inside me, that there was someone that
Yeah.
I would talk to, because lalo na when
Yeah.
moving na, parang
Yeah.
those
You can see your tummy
yan,
moving.
gumagalaw ng ganyan, parang
Yeah,
oh.
like the waves.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, I'm really those are the moments when I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is really powerful.
A
I mean,
miracle. Literally a
yeah,
miracle. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then, the knowledge that, it's the knowledge that what you're eating, that your baby's,
Yeah.
partaking. And then also I knew about emotions. So um, I would play nice classical music and place it in,
Yes, me too.
yeah. Then I would read aloud all the happy children's books that I like. I mean,
Yeah. I
it's
used to read Dr. Seuss, um, Oh Baby, the Places You'll Go. It's a
mm,
utero version.
ah, I played the no. I
Yeah.
mean, I would play the tape pa nun. And I
Yeah,
would
tape.
also read Bambi.
Yeah.
What else?
Oh.
Good Night Moon.
Yeah, the classics.
Yeah, and then Guess How Much I Love You. Those were
Did you
like,
have dreams? Diba when you're pregnant, you also have a lot of dreams? Because I guess because you're not
mm,
really sleeping properly because your tummy's
I
heavy.
I don't remember. What I do remember is, at some point in my pregnancy, I would draw the parang the side. Because I just had this thing, like I would draw
Like
the
silhouettes.
profile. Yeah, yeah, silhouettes. And
Ah,
seriously, seriously, like when my daughter was born, it's exactly how she looked. I kid you
wow.
not. That's like,
Wow, that's
whoa,
intuition.
yeah, it's wild. Because I'm really not naman like someone who, I mean, I'm not good at it. But for some reason, I would just like, I would draw silhouette,
Wow.
just silhouette. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
was interesting.
Okay, now
And
let's talk about the harder parts, the hard parts of pregnancy.
well,
That's when like
the hard,
self-doubt, like you're thinking if
yeah. Am I
there's there
gonna
really
be?
moments that you think if am I gonna be a good mom, right?
Yeah.
Or am I ready to be a
Am I ready
mom?
to do this? What's
Yeah.
gonna change? All of that.
Yeah.
And again, I will bring it back to, I think, a big big difference from like how it was for me and now for our pregnant moms is, when I was back then, when I was pregnant, I didn't have a community.
Yeah.
And I really feel, our younger moms now, they have communities like Mommy Mundo.
Mm-mm.
You're not just one
True.
pregnant mom who's asking all these questions. You have a community
Yeah,
of
yeah,
pregnant
true.
moms asking this question.
And
And
even just on Instagram, no, like if you post something there,
mm,
everyone's like wishing you well,
yeah,
diba?
yeah.
And seeing that you're blooming, you're looking good, and giving you tips and stuff. That's true.
One of my suggestions would be to start keeping a journal
Mm,
of how you're feeling
yeah.
today, the changes, ganyan.
Yes.
And have writing prompts like, what am I afraid of? What am I thankful for?
Yeah.
Get to know
Oh yeah,
yourself
Leah,
better.
can you share? Because since that's your specialization and your advocacy about writing your story, owning your
Healing,
story,
yeah,
and
healing through writing.
healing through
Uh,
writing.
yes.
How can pregnant moms utilize the tool?
Mm.
So you were saying that um it's like journaling.
Yes.
Do you
Okay, but
call it
here's the
differently?
difference though.
Yeah.
Journaling kasi is uh, I woke up and I wasn't feeling too good, and then I went to,
Yeah.
it's a chronological,
Take an account of
it's
your
an
day.
account, yes, it's an account of
Yeah.
your day. Um, Expressive writing is more about, it's more deeper self inquiry. And well, what I do specifically is to take you through guided prompts so that you are
Mm,
able to have a more deeper self inquiry. Because really,
mhm.
all of
Yeah.
us, we we tell our lives through stories. Stories are how we
Yes.
make sense of the world. The thing
Agree.
is, the thing is, our story making mind is always making stories in our head.
Yes.
So it's really not about what happens. It's how you see what happens. And here's the
True.
news.
Yeah.
Whatever you think about that story or however you see that story, I'll tell you
Yes.
now, it's not 100% true. How can it be true 100%? Ito lang yung nakita mo eh. So
Yeah.
we tell our stories
Yeah.
based on our how we see, how we think, how
Yeah.
we feel
And
about it.
how
So
you
it's
see
always
ourselves too.
subjective.
So like Leah, just to drill down that point, like
Mm.
for example, something happened in my childhood. I see it differently. My sister sees it differently, and my brother sees it
And
differently.
your parents see it differently.
Yeah, and the parents
Yes,
also see it differently. So
yes,
that's it,
yes.
right?
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So that, but the story
um
that I remember is my
is
story.
how, yes, is
Is
how
yeah,
you
and it's
felt
based
about it,
on how I felt
how
about it.
you how you
Yes.
saw it, right? So
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we have, we are empowered, humans are empowered with metacognition, which is the ability to think about our thoughts,
Right.
to feel our feelings. Okay, so when you go through like what I offer, which is
Yeah.
guided
That's your
writing.
workshop.
Yes,
Yeah.
the workshops that I offer,
Yes.
which is guided expressive writing, you are now able to be the storyteller of your story. And
Yes.
once you see that you are not your story. You are not what you thought happened to you as a child. You can
Yes.
get out of that. You have the ability to get out of that. Be the storyteller and say, oh, so that's how that
Yeah.
happened. So that 5-year-old was feeling, let's say, was feeling neglected at the time, or so my 5-year-old self pala was feeling not appreciated at that time.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
very,
so
very
if you
different.
connect it to an expectant mom who's
Mm,
going through all these changes right now with everything in your physically and as I said mentally, emotionally. And for
yeah.
example, she's feeling a bit insecure about being prepared for her role and all that. How can she utilize expressive writing?
Okay. So for example, she's really, really anxious about what if I'm not gonna be a good mom?
Yeah.
Um, what if I let my child down? I mean, we're gonna get all those thoughts, right? So then one writing prompt, here's an example of what I would do is get into a safe space, a quiet space. Take a few deep breaths to put yourself there, and then have your special my pregnancy journey notebook,
Notebook.
yeah,
Yeah.
really nice slidey ball pen, and then ask yourself, I would give a prompt like, what is it about motherhood that scares
Mhm.
me,
Yeah.
or what are my beliefs about being a mom,
Yes.
what are my shoulds about being a mom, where did I get my shoulds from,
Yeah. Or maybe even just asking what how do I see myself as a mom?
how do I see
Will
myself,
unearth a
yeah.
lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then see, here's the interesting thing. Because now we have a lot of subjective thoughts in our monkey mind. The thing
Yes.
is, one of the ways that healing through writing works is when you put down that fear, when you call out the elephant in the room, the fear starts to lose its power on you.
Ah, yes, I
The
agree.
more, the more that you don't acknowledge. For
Yes,
example lang,
agree.
kunwari lang, I had my mom was a workaholic and I feel like she was never there for me. Oh no, what if I turn out to be my mom just like that, like
Yeah.
never there for my child? That's your story. Eh? That's the story
That's
that's
your
running in your
story.
head.
Yes.
Yeah. So then, but you don't wanna acknowledge that because I can't possibly think that way about my mom. Kikidlatan ako, diba?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then, during these times, then you can say, what is it about me being a mom that scares me? Call it out. I'm afraid that I'm gonna be like my mom. What does like my
Yeah.
mom mean? I'm afraid that I'm gonna be like a super workaholic and not have time for my child.
Yes.
And then when you write that
When you
down,
write it
oh,
down.
then you're
Yes.
like, oh, okay, that's what I'm afraid of. Then you become conscious. So how can
Yes, you
you
become
not?
conscious. That's right.
How can you mindfully, intentionally not turn out like that? And
Right.
hopefully, as you go through this process, you will start seeing things differently. It's not that my mom was a bad mom. She had to work. She had
Right.
no choice. She
Parang
was doing the best.
it clarifies situations, no? Or for example, the
Yes,
feeling of
because
inadequacy that we were talking about,
yes.
like fears of
Mm,
not being adequate or not what if I'm not good enough, what if I'm not ready? It can actually manifest in over preparation, right? Like you're
yes.
over preparing your nursery and over preparing your because the fear, the underlying reason is you're scared that you're
I
going to be
might
not.
not be enough. I want to share. I want to share this experience. I way back when I used to work corporate, I got close to one of the girls who was in my team, and she's a super sports person, like super creative, really good at what she does. Pero by Friday, may dala na siyang overnight bag kasi she'll go na to the beach,
Mm.
she'll surf, ganyan. And then started to have children. And now, like when I see her posts, it's always about how difficult, how stressful. And then she posted something, and she said, like, her child said, Mama, you're always working, always washing the dishes, always working. Papa also, no play. And I'm like, I really wrote to her.
Oh.
I'm like, what happened to you? You're one of the most playful people I know.
Mm.
You know, and and I know because in previous conversations she said, what if I'm not being the right mom? So in her head, the right mom is everything is fixed, everything is
Yeah.
malines, you know. But
And just give
no,
your all.
yeah,
Yeah.
play with your child. Play.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
forget to
play, have
play.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
so parang the work and quotes of motherhood took over and
Or
forgot the
her
wonder,
beliefs.
the side of
Yes.
wonder, right?
Yes, the
The
side.
magic of wonder. So as
Yeah.
we said in 2020, make time for wonder.
Yes, there you go. Mindfully,
Yeah.
intentionally
Yeah.
make time for wonder.
Right. It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess parang when we're preparing for that big role of motherhood, that's a nice way to also see it that it doesn't mean you give up on who you are now.
Yeah.
Diba? Now that you're waiting for your baby, this is the time to remember who you are now. And maybe you can uh, you can write it down, or maybe you can even reflect on what you love about yourself,
Right. Right.
what
You
you want
know,
to keep. Yeah.
Janice, that's right. One of the prompts in your journal,
Yeah.
in your journey to pregnancy could be, what brings me joy?
Hmm. Yes.
What
So that
makes
you can
me feel
remember
what makes me
what
feel
makes you
like a
feel alive
child?
or
You
makes you
know,
feel alive.
yeah, what makes me feel alive. And
Yeah.
then, make a manifesto. The kind of mother,
Yeah.
the kind of mother I will be. While you're still here, pregnant, the kind of mother I will be will always remember to play. The kind of
Mm-mm.
mother I will be will always remember to say sorry
Yeah.
unconditionally.
Okay, let's put it in context why that's important. Because when you
Okay.
become a mother, it takes over. It can take over your life. Of course,
It can.
right?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
newborn is like that's another human being who's relying on you solely, and even you can't even get enough sleep, right? And even breastfeeding alone will drain you. We all know that. So if you're not mindful, it can actually take over your life and who you are, and sometimes you really forget. Like honestly, that really happens to a lot of moms, and I think in a way there's nothing wrong with like those first few weeks of like really immersing yourself in motherhood. That's really like crucial time of you also learning the ropes and learning to trust yourself with your baby, right? But then it's always good to know at the back of your head
There's a
who you
me.
are.
There's a
There's
me. Yeah, yeah. There's a me
yeah,
after this. Because what
yes,
can happen also is,
yeah,
you go into that, oh, I'm a mother now. And then you're just a
yeah,
mother now. You're not. You're a woman.
yeah,
You're a
yes.
daughter.
True.
You're a wife.
Yeah,
Motherhood, while it's, oh my God, the kind of love that you never thought you'd be able to do, remember that you are, kasi diba, it's a role. It's a motherhood is a role. So
right.
it's a role. You are other things. You are a woman.
Yeah,
Ladies, you are sexy. Remember to stay
yeah,
sexy. Okay? Take out that mommy and duster thing. Okay?
yeah,
No. Why? You still have a partner. And even if you don't have a partner, you still have you.
yes,
Be beautiful in a way that you want. There, put that in your, diba, I will stay beautiful. I will feel beautiful for me. That's important.
yes. Also, that's one physical self care,
Physical
right?
self
We
care.
don't mean that we don't mean to be thin or whatever. That's aside
No.
besides the point. It's really taking care of yourself,
Feeling
nurturing your body,
beautiful.
feeling beautiful,
Feeling beautiful. Feeling
brushing your
beautiful about,
hair,
yeah.
brushing your hair.
Oh, and you know what? When you're feeling meh, dance.
Yes,
That's true.
moving. That's
dance like
true.
nobody's
And
watching,
sing.
and sing. Oh, we have behind the scenes singing, but we don't know if that's gonna be
Because music
included.
is, nako, Teacher Jeannie will be so proud of us. Music is magical. Like it lifts your
Yes,
energies right,
yes.
diba, right up.
Music
Actually, even
and
when you have kids already, if your kids are feeling meh and you're feeling meh and it's a little
have a
sad at
song.
home, just play a happy song.
Yeah, dance to it. Dance to
That's
and you know what? Those are the memories that your children
exactly.
will
Yeah,
remember, not the expensive toys.
that's true.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun
Yeah.
experiences with you.
Yes. And really the most simple moments
Yes.
together.
Yes.
Yeah.
There.
Okay. So besides physical self-love, self-care, what else
Self-love,
the
self-care,
moms do?
um self-compassion, please, please, please.
Yeah, self
Janice mentioned this earlier about being mindful. I would really like to share this tool, like, when you're feeling stressed, hand to heart, just hand to
mm,
heart,
yes.
and then just feel that, and
Yeah.
just be mindful of your breath, and then talk gently to yourself. Talk
Yeah.
gently to yourself like you would to someone you really love. Make a practice of that. Make a practice of writing down your feelings and your thoughts with no judgment.
Oh yes, the no judgment is really, really important. Right?
Yeah.
That's we
Yeah.
it's like automatic we judge ourselves, no?
Well, it's learned behavior kasi. But the
Yeah.
magic of it is, in this time that you have, you can learn to be more mindful, to be less judgy to your, because when you're less judgy to yourself, you will find that you are less judgy to others.
Yes,
And
yes.
if that's learned behavior, it can be unlearned. And
Yeah.
you're really preparing yourself, um, to be a more mindful and more loving mom. And it really starts with loving yourself first.
True.
Yeah. The
Okay, so
self-care,
self-compassion. Yeah,
self-compassion.
self-compassion.
Yeah. So the movement to music, you dance, right? Feel beautiful in whatever way
Yeah. And
that you
knowing,
feel.
you were saying earlier that knowing what makes you happy and makes you feel alive,
Yes.
and then you
Write
make
that
time for
down.
those things.
Make
Like,
for that. Yeah. Make time
yeah,
for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then write it down, and make a conscious effort, make a conscious effort of, oh, also this is what upsets me, and it's okay.
Right.
We don't just always have to feel happy feelings. That's the thing, because we
Yes,
don't,
yes.
because what will you teach your children when as they get bigger, that it's okay. it's
Yes.
it's
Happy
okay to have,
yeah, I mean, yeah, not happy feelings or sad or negative feelings are normal.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's how we process ourselves to get out of that, and
Yes.
it's okay, because
Right.
uncomfortable feelings are really guides. That's
Right.
really, if we listen, no, not if, we need to listen to our uncomfortable feelings, because those uncomfortable feelings are telling us there's something we need that we're not getting.
Yes, that's right. And
Yeah.
then when we have those feelings, we don't have to put
But
energy into it. Like we don't
yeah,
have to add
yeah,
drama in a story. We just
it's
acknowledge it.
okay.
It's like labeling your feelings, and so that nga it's recognized and then it stops there.
Yes,
Right?
yes, yes. So, like, for example,
Yeah.
I'm feeling so yucky about myself today. My body's becoming this thing, and what if it never goes back?
Yeah.
Stop.
Stop.
Take,
Yeah.
take deep breaths,
Yeah.
okay, and then write it down.
Yeah.
I am worried my body will be.
Yeah.
Write it all down. Write, 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 write. Then you'll realize, oh,
That's it.
okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I can do something about this.
Yes. Yeah, so that's part of minding your mind. Like be a witness to the feelings.
Yes.
For example, after you deliver, you don't fit in your jeans yet. You don't have to add drama, 'di ba? Parang, oh no. And then it doesn't have to go all the way to affect your self-esteem. And then you'll start being masungit, and then you'll start projecting on your husband, and the whole household is already
Yeah, you're gonna be
feeling
like, "Am I
stressed.
mataba na?" Then you're associated, kind of. What do you mean by kawawan?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how we are sometimes, right? So if we stop there, just recognizing that that's where we're at, and then being self-compassionate, then
Yeah.
we save a lot of energy and drama, and we keep everybody happy in the
And
household, right?
you're able to enjoy the process.
Yeah, enjoy the process as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Because it
Okay.
will pass in 9 months. It will pass.
Yeah.
And then this would have been just it would have been something that happened to you. And do you want it to be a wonderful memory, or do you
Yeah.
want it to be just something that you went through? It would be
True.
wonderful if it turned out to be, a really transformative experience for you.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, what can moms expect in their new role as a new mom? Like, based on your experience, or based on like the transitions of your people you've worked with as a coach, for example, what is the biggest transition of a woman to being a new mom, and how can she prepare herself the most?
Um, the biggest transition that I know from my experience of my coaches and the women I've known,
Yeah.
and even of myself, is we put so much expectations of
Yeah.
ourselves. We are so hard on ourselves as mothers, and all the drama and all the energy is there in all those
Yeah.
expectations. Guys, walang mothering 101. Wala.
Yeah.
Hinanap ko na. Wala talaga. Wala. So what find your tribe, find your
Yes.
tribe, find your good friends who you can
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I did this." I think that wasn't right, but it's okay. You will
Yeah.
make
No
mistakes.
mom shaming, diba? It's
You
just all
will
joy.
make mistakes. It's okay.
Yeah.
Learning how to say sorry is a huge thing. Learning
True.
how to say sorry already broke a crazy wild cycle in our
Yeah.
lives.
And in
Um,
connection to what you said about there's no mothering 101, it's also that you have your own brand of motherhood to
yes.
create. There's no one setting the template of
Um,
this is the best mom, this is the perfect mom, this is how you should
no.
be. Everyone has her own style.
Yeah.
And that's why we should also accept each other, respect each other,
Yes.
how we mother.
What
Yeah.
I do know is that a happy child is a seen child. A happy child
True.
is an accepted child. So how do you get there? Forget the
Yes.
expectations. See
Yeah.
yourself with love.
Yes.
Affirm yourself first. And then you will know how to do that for your children. Because nothing from nothing is nothing, di ba? So
Yeah.
when you're
Correct.
putting all your energies in the super perfect, nice looking room, or the everything
Mm.
is malinis, you only have 24 hours. What are you not focusing on?
True.
Diba? Put time, carve time, mindfully, intentionally, to getting to know yourself better, getting to love yourself more, learning to talk to yourself kindly. So that during the days, when you're waking up every 2 hours because of breastfeeding, you will be kinder to yourselves. You will
Yeah.
know this is just a phase, this will pass. And you won't
True.
end up snapping at everybody around you.
Yeah. And I think before we end, because we're always so fast, we ran out of time. But I think one of the most essential is really to just have fun. Enjoy every
Yeah.
moment and live life with wonder. And don't forget to play, as you said. Don't
Yes.
forget to play.
Yes. And
Yeah.
always talk to yourself like someone you love.
Right. And you can do self hugs too.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is like the
Self
best.
hugs. Yes.
When you feel you need love, give it to yourself.
Yes, that's right. Okay. So thank you, Leah. I'd like to ask you to talk about your workshops and how they can reach you. So your IG is at Heartworks Healing.
At Heartworks Healing, yes,
Yes.
that's my IG, and that's where I usually share the workshops. I have one more workshop with
Yeah.
Atma Prema tomorrow at 5 p.m. That's your transcendent story. And then we're having a retreat
Mhm.
in May in El Nido. And that will also be all in my Instagram
Yeah.
and in my
That's
Facebook.
May 29,
23 to 29
23
and
to
in El
29.
Nido. Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah. So that's with
awesome.
Atma Prema
The
Wellbeing. So
Atma
hello,
Prema
Leah,
Wellbeing
Tina,
Group.
and Nathan.
Hello.
Leah is part of Atma Prema as a coach and
A
counselor,
self love
self love
solution counselor.
self love solutions
Yeah,
counselor.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And so and please follow her because she shares a lot of words of wisdom there that I also learn a lot from. And Leah's also gonna be at Expo Mom on May
Yes,
29, 30. I think your talk is scheduled for the 30th.
yeah.
So we're also excited to have you there.
I'm excited to
Okay.
be there.
Okay, thank you, Leah, for again for guesting
Thank you
here at Lead the
too.
Mom. So
Thank
let's
you.
end.
Be happy, pregnant
Yes, be
mommies.
happy. Yes, be happy, pregnant mommies. And if you ever need coaching or if you want to try out expressive writing, just contact Leah or you can contact us and we'll link you to her. Okay, so we believe that moms should be cherished and celebrated. That's why we say, you the
You, the
mom.
mom.